Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, ready to start again? No? Okay. Well, sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel like even in a big crowd of people, or even when you're just around so many people, you still like, it's not as fun. Or like, you don't really get along with everyone, or you might feel left out in some way, or you're just in your head about things. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you don't always fit in, or you don't always want to be in these big crowds, like sometimes you're just an introvert. Sometimes you just rather be at home, I don't know, reading a book, hanging out with yourself, or be on a walk, than be in this party or be in a big crowd, Like, sometimes I've been feeling that too, where I kind of feel a little lost in, like, it's not that I don't fit in, it's that it's just not fun. Sometimes talking to people isn't as fun as it seems. And maybe that's just because I'm older. I don't really, like, conversation doesn't flow. I don't know, maybe I'm just bad at, like, keeping conversation going. Maybe I kind of just find that the conversation dies after a bit. Like, I just sometimes being around even so many people that you don't know, it's like a lot of like those first interactions, like you're trying to like socialize, meet people, and like really at parties and all that stuff, like really you have to mingle. Like if you're not there, you can be there with friends too, but then if you're there, like your friend might want to go talk to someone else, or like like unless you're gonna stick by your friend like at the very like hip, you have to go socialize with other people. And there might be acquaintances and people there that you kind of know, or you kind of seen around, but you're not close with them. You have to go and talk to them, be like, oh yeah, how's the weather, yeah, nice day we're having. Or like if you're in university, what's your name, what's your program, what year are you in? Like, it's just the same crap that you have to like keep doing, and then you have to find something else to talk about. And I don't know, it just kind of gets really annoying. And then even when you do get past all of that, what do you do? Like, I don't know, I kind of just feel like conversation is so boring now, and it could just be the kind of people I'm hanging around. It could be me. It could be like a plethora of things, but I kind of just feel like sometimes socializing and being at these parties, and I don't know, it's just not as fun as it seems. Like, honestly, I'm not too big of a party person. I will go to one, but I'm not too big about them because they're just, I don't know, they're just not that great. In my opinion, they're not that great. Like, for me, I've also learned to value like close friendships. So, like, I don't know, like, it's not that I'm not down to meet new people, but like, I don't know, I feel like there's so many connections that I could keep, and like there's so many, like, sometimes I almost feel like if I'm not going to get close to you, what's the point in talking to you, kind of thing. Or like if I'm not going to be seeing you on multiple occasions, what's the point in like building a connection with you, doing those introductions? Like, what's the point? I'm never going to see you again. Which I don't think that's a great mindset, but also I kind of just feel like I'm trying to prioritize like my close friendships, because honestly, close friendships are like the best friendships, like in my opinion. When I was younger, I used to value more friends over like the quality of friends. I used to just want to be friends with everyone. And even some say if you try to be friends with everyone, then that is wrong. Like something's wrong. Like you're a people pleaser. And I was a people pleaser. Now I like my close connections. I like being by myself more. And I don't know. I just like don't like to keep up with too many. Like there's so many friends that I've met being at university, and I've met them once and then they're like still texting me, hitting me up, all that stuff, and I just don't respond to them, to be honest, because like, which is not great of me. Like clearly I want to continue a connection. I guess I'm just not prioritizing them, or I'm not willing to get close to them because I just don't really want to, I guess. Or like, I don't know. Speaking on this, I was watching, it's like this YouTuber that I'm really liking right now. Her name is Jezebel. Shout out to you, Jezebel. Um, she like was talking about like in a video that how, you know, she doesn't really have many friends, and back then like she wouldn't really, like, she would meet a lot of cool people and stuff like that, but she wouldn't really like try to get close to them, or she wouldn't take that initiative to like continue the friendship because like she just didn't vibe with them, or she didn't feel like it was going to be like a close connection or a connection that's going to last. So she just didn't continue, and that's why she says like, oh, I don't have many friends now, kind of thing. And I kind of really resonated with that, because now I kind of just feel like even though I meet people, I don't take the initiative to like continue or text them more, or like, you know, try to see them or hang out other than like, you know, like on random occasions, because I just don't see the point, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. And there's only so many friendships I can keep up with. Like growing up too, your friendship group gets a lot smaller. Like when you're in high school and stuff, you're forced to see your friends like in your class at lunch. You know, you're forced to see your friends. So, and then you could schedule hangouts after school, like whatever. Now in university, you really have to like you really have to try to see people, and like even the friends you do make, or the old friends that you made, you have to like keep in contact with them. You have to text them, you have to see what they're up to, catch up with them. And you know, you have a schedule and they have a schedule. Sometimes your schedules don't align, and it can get really tricky, and you're not forced to see them. I mean, unless you guys share a class together, or maybe you guys are in the same program and you study together, or maybe you're in a club, a similar club, like that, you know, then you can keep in touch easier. But other than that, you kind of have to schedule time for each other. And I know a lot of people now, they don't have time to schedule time with people. They're busy with their own lives, you know, and maybe they just don't want to. And yeah, I had to not cut off, but I grew apart from a lot of people, like from high school. And I'd even say like in a way, I am cutting them off. Like if I never talked to them again, I would not be pressed. Like they were not very they were significant in my high school life, I guess, but I don't know if it was a good thing. I don't know if it was a good thing. I think in a way they weren't real friends to me. And you know, you always have those people like they're just not real friends, or like, you know, they're not too great for you. So the fact that you don't have to be forced to hang out with them, it's almost better for you, your well-being. And you don't have to, like, you know, it's just better. Like you might as well just not continue the friendship. Like it's kind of a nice way to ease out of it. You don't hurt anyone's feelings. You just, you know, you don't really reach out to them. You just kind of let things fizzle out, and that is probably for the best, because not everyone's supposed to be in your life forever. Some people are like meant to teach you a lesson in your life, and you go through different stages of life, so different people will come along, and the friendships that last will last. And you also grow in your personality, and you grow in who you are, what you like, and where you are in your life. And I would say that I grew in the fact that my priorities for friends changed a lot, because as I said, I was like someone who wanted to be friends with everyone, and then now I'm very like, not choosy. It's not that I won't want to be your friend, but I just won't really make the initiative to, like, hey, let's go hang out sometime. Sometimes what is a toxic trait for me is that I will say we should do this, and then I never get back to them. And there's people that are like trying to do stuff, but then I just never get back to them, and that is not good of me to do. And I know that, and I should stop doing that, especially if I know, because, like, okay, and maybe in the moment I'm like, yeah, like, maybe in the future, you know, like, I talk about something that we bonded over or something, like, let's do that sometime. But then, yeah, it just doesn't end up happening, or, like, I might not have time. I don't know. Things happen. So I should probably know, if I know I'm not gonna, like, pursue that, then I probably shouldn't say those things to, like, get people's hopes up, or, like, continue something that I don't want to continue in reality. But yeah, especially in terms of being in a big crowd, or you have, like, just at a regular party, you might go with like one or two friends. It's all nice, and like, you have acquaintances, people, a few people there. It's just not as fun as, like, it's a good time if you guys are doing something fun, but it's just not that great in my opinion. Like, I don't know, like, I guess I'm just not a big partier. Even, like, doesn't even have to be like frat parties or like regular, like, random parties. It can be like events, like, run by the school, or run by anything, like, no, like, those are fun, and it's not that I won't go to them, but they're just not very, I don't know. I think I'm just not very, like, I'm not enjoying hanging out with people, because I kind of just feel like it's the same old, same old. And sometimes when I feel like conversation dies out, what do you talk about? Or, like, like that feeling when, like, you meet a friend and you guys get really close and you guys talk about everything, and as soon they become like a very close friend or a best friend, and then you guys have already talked about everything, and then now you have nothing to talk about. In a way, too, just their presence is, like, nurturing, and it's like calms you in a sense, like, you just want their presence around. But honestly, I think I'm a kind of person who I like to be alone too, because sometimes hanging out with people can drain me. I think even after a while, hanging out with people that I'm close to can kind of drain me a little bit, or sometimes the conversation is not as good. Like, I just don't want to keep talking about the same thing. Sometimes also when your friend just keeps talking about the same thing over and over and over, you're just like, what the heck? Like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. We've already spoken. It's like the 60th time speaking about it. Like, let's change the topic, but then there's nothing else to talk about. So I don't know. That's just like the annoying thing about conversations and talking to people and hanging out with people. Like, I guess maybe I'm scared about it getting awkward or having nothing to say, and that might just be my little social anxiety happening. Sorry, I thought my mic was muted. I'm good. But yeah, that could just be. And another thing that changed a lot for me growing up is that I used to be able to say whatever and not have any issues when I was younger about talking to people, and, like, I used to be more outgoing, and now I'm a little bit more in my head about things. And I don't think I wouldn't say that I can't have conversations with people. I can't get things started. I do think I am a good conversationalist, and I can still interact and communicate with people, and people still enjoy hanging around me, and I can make friends easily. But I don't know. I think I'm just coming to realize that it could just be more exhausted, and I think I'm a little bit more reserved now, where yeah, the whole connection thing, me not trying to continue a connection. Like, I will talk to someone. It's not that I won't talk to new people because I'm not going to continue the friendship. Sometimes, you're not going to be close with everyone. Like, you just talk to people just to talk and just be polite and, have a conversation with, like, someone, get to know someone. But yeah, sometimes I just think to myself, like, having, like, sometimes I just don't enjoy hanging around people, to be honest. Like, I just don't see anything fulfilling. Like, I always complain too to myself, like, I feel so lonely, I wish I had someone to hang out with at this time, or at this, like, time and place, like, in this moment. But then when I actually think about, like, okay, this sounds kind of bad. Like, it's not that the people that I hang around are bad, or I'm bored of them, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't really see the conversation, like, I just have nothing to say to them. Or, like, even if it's like a friend that you haven't seen in a while, like, they could be a close friend, and then you guys don't see each other for a while, and, like, you see each other, like, I don't know, like, you catch up, but sometimes you just have nothing to say to them. Like, I think I'm also one of the friends that doesn't text and call very often. Like, I'm not a caller. I text more than I call. I'm not a caller. Like, I won't really be calling people out of the blue too much, because I feel like part of the thing with me is that when I am hanging out with you, then I'm, like, hanging out with you and I want to enjoy the time. But then when I'm not hanging out with you and I'm away from you, I'm not really focused on you. Like, I'm not really trying to call you up, kind of thing. Unless, like, we're planning something, or, like, I don't know, like, we had something scheduled, like, yeah, let's call at this time, kind of thing. I'm not really much of a spontaneous caller, so I will reach out to someone I haven't spoken to a while via text, and be like, hey, how's it going? What's going on? Kind of thing. But, like, I won't really be calling you. Like, that's not really, I just don't call people like that. But yeah, I don't know, like, I feel like people can relate to me. I think a lot of people are like this too, and it's not just me. There's people out there that are also similar to me, where they share similar thoughts about communication and friends and acquaintances and talking to people and socializing. And I guess sometimes I also feel like I could come off in a way as, I wonder how I come off to people. Like, sometimes I feel like people, like, I get weird vibes from people, and honestly I feel like it could be something that I'm exuding. Like, maybe I'm exuding negativity in some sort. You always wonder how you come off towards people, because sometimes I kind of feel like people in a way judge me without, like, there might be an acquaintance that I have, or, like, someone that I know of, or who might know me, and then I kind of just get this weird vibe from them. And I think maybe it's honestly because I might, like, to me they give me, like, this dirty look, and then maybe to them I'm giving them this dirty look, or whatever. Like, we're kind of judging each other because we think that person's judging us, kind of thing. Like, it could just be a complete, like, nonverbal miscommunication or misunderstanding, which I feel like happens a lot. Like, just by looking at someone like in a certain way, you can like evoke like something, or like maybe that person's intimidated by you. I don't want to give myself that much credit, but like, I don't know, like sometimes I kind of just get these vibes, and then I kind of wonder like how I come off towards people. Like, am I an approachable person? Am I someone that people like off the bat? Like, what's being said, what's being, because I personally don't think I do anything to people to like evoke a negative response. But you know, you never know what people are thinking about you. You don't even need to talk to people for them to think any bad thing bad about you or anything good. Like, so sometimes you really just can't control how people think you or perceive you. You kind of just have to like be confident, be who you are. And that's what I try to do. But you know, it is kind of like a little weird when you feel like you're being judged for no reason, or you kind of just feel like um and I feel like it going on that too. I guess it goes both ways. Like, you almost kind of wonder like, "Oh, why is no one like, coming up to me, or I've seen this person so many times. How come they're not trying to spark a conversation with me, or whatever the heck?" Like, you get these random things, but I guess too, why aren't you doing that to those people? Because I think a lot of the time how miscommunication happens, some person thinks like, "Oh, they're ignoring me," or, "Oh, they think this of me," and then the other person might be thinking the same thing or something different, and then that causes like a little ripple between you guys, and even if you've never talked before, and it could just cause like this anxiety and this tension, and it just makes that first interaction a little bit harder, because you know you get this vibe from that person, they're getting that vibe from you, and it's like no one wants to initiate anything. So I feel like sometimes that happens to me. There's people within my events, my like clubs that I join, like in terms of activities at school, that we've never really spoken too much. We might have said a few words to each other, but I kind of get this weird vibe from them that they might not like me, or like, I don't know, there's some vibe, and I'm like, "Oh, what did I do?" or like whatever. Like, I don't think I did anything. It could just be like, I'm honestly thinking it's like the vibe that I give off. Like, maybe I give off, like, I have no idea. Like, I can't really think of anything that I do, but I never know. And at this rate, I'm gonna just let it be. Just let it be. If you don't really know what you've done or anything, if you've never like spoken to that person, if you've never said anything bad about them, never done anything wrong, you kind of just have to, maybe they're intimidated by you, to be honest. Like, maybe they just like, "Wow, they're so cool," or they think they're it. Like, that could just be a form of jealousy or intimidation, and maybe that shows their lack of confidence in themselves because they see you as confident. So I don't know, that could be a factor. And I don't know, a bunch of different things can occur when people perceive you or see you as something and judge you right off the bat. They can develop a bunch of these like figments of who you are in their mind, and then it just kind of prevents them from wanting to approach you, wanting to talk to you, or getting this bad vibe from you, or being intimidated. So many things. And that's kind of their issue, to be honest. Like, you know who you are, I know who I am. So that first interaction, or the next interaction that we have, hopefully will run smoothly. Hopefully I will develop a little bit of a closer connection. It doesn't have to be close, but hopefully that next interaction will be a better interaction, and it will kind of smooth out some of the kinks that were previously assumed or thought of by either parties. And hopefully everything will be okay, and then you guys will be friends. But yeah, like, I feel like there's nothing you can really do if someone gets a bad vibe from you when you haven't done anything wrong. People will judge anyone they walk past. As soon as you walk past someone on the street, you judge them. So sometimes you really just can't be controlling what other people be thinking. Kind of just have to live your own life, and whatever happens, happens. And hopefully the next conversation, like, you just be as polite and genuine and sweet and nice and welcoming as you can. And hopefully they'll exude that same energy, and there will be some understanding, some middle ground, and all the communication and miscommunication will be smoothed out, and you guys will like each other. So that's what I hope. And yeah, going back to not really feeling connected in a crowd of people, it honestly could that could honestly be with your mood too, because I know that I haven't been feeling the best. When you're not feeling the best, maybe in yourself or in the direction you're headed, it can cause a little bit of barrier between your fun or your excitement, or things happening, your connections. So I do think that has a factor in me not enjoying, maybe having that, being in that group or being around people. And I do also think it heavily depends on again, the conversation that you have, what you guys are talking about. Sometimes topics can get kind of repetitive or boring, especially if you guys don't have much to say to each other. So I struggle with how to keep the conversation alive sometimes. And it's, again, not that I don't have new things to talk about. Sometimes you can just talk about random things, but I think it could just be like, I don't so much enjoy talking to people anymore, like, or hanging out with people too much. Like, I will crave hanging out with someone if I haven't seen them for a while, like my best friend, or like a friend that I've had. But I don't know, it's a struggle for me, because yeah, sometimes I feel lonely, but then when I think about hanging out with people, I'm like, doesn't seem too appealing. Like, and I think I'm just in my head about things as well. And yeah, once again, like, if I don't feel like getting close to you, or that, we'll be close in the future, sometimes I don't make that initiative to hang out. And sometimes too, I don't even make that initiative with my close friends, to be honest. Sometimes I kind of just, like, we do plan events and stuff like that, and I do reach out and say, hey guys, you want to hang out, like, if it's a weekend or something. I literally did that the other day. But things don't always work out. Everyone's having their plans and stuff like that, so sometimes it doesn't work out. But yeah, just know that if you struggle with the same things that I struggle with, you are not alone. And life can be kind of down sometimes too. A lot of it, and a lot of not wanting to hang out with people, can just be what you have going on too. If your mental state is down, it could feel like a chore to want to hang out with people, and to have to, like, you might feel like you have to put on a facade or put on like a happy face to, like, oh, I have to be happy and smiley, and then I have to talk about all these topics I don't want to talk about. Even, like, you don't have to talk about your issues, but you don't want to have to relive things if you, like, have to explain things or explain stories. And sometimes you don't want to hear your friends trauma dumping and talking about themselves, talking about what they're going through, because you just don't want to deal with it right now. And I don't know, like, there's so many different things, but conversations can also be good. Sorry, I'm like doing a lot of shuffling. Conversations can also be good. They can also be really fun. You don't have to talk about serious things all the time. You don't have to talk about like struggles. It could be happy, it can be random. But sometimes it can also be kind of boring, and sometimes hanging out with people or being in these party situations or big crowds, like you still just aren't getting that excitement that you need. Um, Sometimes I deal with that, and I'm not too sure on how to resolve that, to be honest, because I struggle with it and I am struggling with it now. But once in a while, if you are lonely, or if you feel like you've been alone for a while, you need to go hang out with people. Sometimes having people around, and just not even you don't even need to be in the conversation a lot, just being there can just make you feel a little bit more better and can bring up your mood a little bit. And sometimes you just need to be around people. Whoa, my earbuds are falling out. Sometimes you just need to be around people to get your spirits up a little bit. Sometimes it is just loneliness, and sometimes just be with people that you are happy with. It's very situational, because sometimes even the people that you love or that you feel really comfortable with, you're just not in the mood to be around them. You just, I don't know, take that space when you need to take that space, and go have fun and hang out with people when you're feeling lonely and you need to get away from your thoughts for a while, and just have a little bit of fun and de-stress a little bit. And during my low times, I've definitely enjoyed you're always like, you don't feel like it, you're like, oh, I don't feel like hanging out with people. But then as soon as you kind of go and you kind of have a little bit of fun, you come back, you're like, yeah, I actually think that was a good idea, like I actually needed that, and I'm actually happy that I went out for that bit and I got some fresh air. I was able to have fun and spend a little bit of time with others. So yeah, take that time you need to. Try to understand when you need it, when you just need to have people around. Because if we were always by ourselves and just never had people, I think we would just go crazy, and I know I'd go crazy. And now I'm like, yeah, I like the time by myself, but sometimes just being around people and having that socialization around you, being in the world and in a society, it's just, you feel a little less alone. You feel a little bit more in touch with things, and you don't even need to always be fitting in or being like meshing in with the crowd. Sometimes you might not fit in. Sometimes you just listen, you hear others' perspectives, you grow and you learn from that, and you just try to enjoy the time. You can leave whenever you want. No one's forcing you to stay. When you've had enough, and you go back to your own space and you regroup, you recharge, and you try it again. You try to live the life you want to live. And yeah, keep the people around you though that you trust and that you love, and try to keep people that are very close to you and that mean well, instead of keeping toxic people who might gossip too much, or spread rumors, or be mean to people, or just not have good intentions. That's when that the friend group that you're around really just isn't good for you. It's toxic, and maybe that's why you don't enjoy hanging around people, because the people you're around, you don't connect with, you don't resonate with. So I guess specifically for me, I think I resonate with my friends. So I know they're good people, but there's always that time where you just, you don't really feel like hanging out or feel like being around people. And there's times when you need it. So it's all about balance. All about balance, babe. So yeah, that's basically my talk of the night. Just talking about life and struggles and all of that, all the jazz. So, yeah, that's it. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Okay.